Hey, how's it going? Um, as let's see, for starters, you might notice that I am wearing glasses today. Um, I feel like I should give my eyes a little bit of a break, because it's starting to look really bad. Um, it's not from like me like cutting my eye or anything like that. I just wear contacts for so long they just starve my eyes of oxygen. So yeah, that not looking pretty. Anyway, sorry. On that super positive note, hi. Uh, uh, um, I haven't made a video in a couple of days because number one, I've been trying to figure some things out. I found out some information that kind of stressed me and Lily out. Um, we're still trying to figure out how to deal with it, so until such a time, I think I'm going to play that a little close to the vest with what that information is. Uh, the people who know what it is know what it is. The people who don't, doesn't matter. Um, but on that note, did my computer just crash? On that note, I had an interview yesterday, Monday. Um, basically, I went in and yeah, it was like maybe 10 minutes, maybe less. I walked in the front door and essentially it was this. He asked if I brought my resume with me. I showed him the resume. He asked me like very very few questions. Like we didn't even go to like a meeting room or anything like that. We literally just did this in like the front lobby. And he was just like, well, what kind of job experience do you have before this? I was like, I used to work at SpaceX. He was like, oh, cool. Give me like a few small things that you did here and there. I was like, well, I worked with like very high detail parts to extremely large parts. So I understand like basic to advanced like measurements and whatnot. And I told him things like I know at least the basics of CAD. I haven't done it in 5 6 years, give or take, but whatever. Um, and yeah, he was basically just like, all right, well, I'm gonna tell you about the hours because they tend to fluctuate. Um, a normal like 8 hour day. Uh, he was like, yeah, it's your standard 8 hour day, and then there's like 10 hour days when they're getting a little more busy, and then there's like 12 hour days. Um, and then there's the like uh, really high demand kind of schedule where you'd be working uh, 12 hours a day, 7 days, and then I think you're like off for like a day or two, and then you're working 7 days again. And the whole reason like it sounded super positive that I'm actually going to get the job is because they were saying that they don't have enough people for that kind of a schedule. So yeah, I really hope that they hire enough people to be able to get it back to at least 10 hours because god, I don't want to work fucking 12s. 8s would be amazing, but whatever. At the moment this is the only job that's actually gotten back to me, so whatever, right? But it's a forge job and it'll give me that little bit of extra experience that I might need. um, I did want to learn like a little more in like terms of bigger like factory kind of machine forging. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of at least looking forward to the experience of being able to do this. That being said, I'm a little worried because these are massive fucking parts that are going to be being forged. So very large, superheated metal. And when I drove up to the area, as soon as I drove into um, the, I guess the area between where they would be doing all like the forging and everything, you immediately feel like a temperature spike. Like it's hot as shit over there. And he was saying that, yeah, like the areas will get anywhere between like 110 to 215 or something like that. Uh, so yeah, you typically want to be at a safe distance or you know reduce exposure as much as possible. So I'm gonna be sweating my ass off. But yeah, for the time being, this is it. Um, I'm hoping that the job isn't as you know bad as I'm mentally making it out to be. I really hope that's not the case because I was telling myself that whatever job I get next, I want to make it my last job. I'm going to work there for as long as I need to until I'm actually, built up in the business and then leave. Leave with enough money and savings and everything like that and the business doing it as well as I can possibly get it. Well, not even then. I want to make it like as good as I feel comfortable. I'm definitely going to be counseling with, my mentors and everything like that to see, I guess, what point they feel would be best to leave. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But yeah. So until then, I'm kind of just waiting to hear back from HR from the same company, because I got to do background check and drug test. So I don't know if I need any form of a security clearance. I might. I'm not sure because there are military contracts there, but I don't really know that the parts that they make are like super secret. I mean, I don't know. Granted, I know that there's not really a whole lot that I can say. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I could tell you the kind of stuff that's available on their public website. That's probably it. So, past that, yeah, I haven't really had a whole lot extra. Um, oh, I've mentioned in the past about a cat lady that's like down the road or whatever that just takes care of like a group of cats. And yeah, so I was wondering why her and her husband were um, I don't know, like they both speak like very very fluent French, and her husband doesn't really speak a whole lot of English really at all, or at least he doesn't seem like he does. I'm not sure. Um, but he seems like a nice guy. He just, maybe a little grumpy, but that's whatever. Um, I found out that they're both actually French, uh, like born and raised. So yeah, that was neat. I mean, the the thing that didn't make, like I figured that he was just because he doesn't really speak fluent English. He looks very European. Like he's got a lot of like uh, French features, which is hard to try to explain, but I guess a little easier if you kind of know what you're looking at. That sounds really messed up. He's got a lot of very like things, characteristics, and everything like that that do make him seem a lot more French. Um, just from the little bit of teaching that I was given in school, I guess. God, this isn't making me sound like a better person at all. um, but yeah, I didn't suspect that his wife was, because she spoke such like perfect fluent English, and like she would even use like American slang and everything like that. Um, Not like crazy slang, but just enough. Um, but I was kind of shocked because I was curious. She started speaking French to him, and I was like, I noticed that you guys, both speak French. Do you guys happen to be from there? She's like, yeah, actually, we were both born and raised. So I was like, ah, okay, that explains quite a bit, I guess. Not really so much about her, but him definitely. But yeah, they work at a fuck, what the hell is it called? Food bank. They work at a food bank. So yeah, and she was talking about possibly selling the business, and whoever takes over, she's not sure if they're going to move it. Um, but yeah, that was going to be another possible job, so that would have been nice. Um, we'll see how things work out with this whole boards job. Um, and if I can get in contact with the person that would be taking over the food bank thing, I'd probably be a little more okay with that. Though I do want to get a little bit of experience with this forge thing, so um, God, I I do want to say that I am happy that I did finally find something. Like, I'm still not guaranteed anything at the moment, but the way he was talking made it sound very much like it's essentially a yes, that I'm just waiting on uh, human resources to contact me about those two things that I mentioned. Um, so yeah, I gotta wait to hear back from them, and until such time, I'm gonna essentially be putting in applications still. Uh, Basically, until I start my first day, I'm not gonna be you know too uh, keen on stopping the application process, because you never know, right? I mean, they could literally like find last minute. They're like, yeah, well, sorry, we don't really want you for this position or whatever. Um, oh, but an interesting thing is the company is under Warren Buffett, or owned by Warren Buffett. So that's interesting. One of the richest men in the world. I mean, granted, I was working for a company for the richest man in the world, though I think Bezos and Elon keep swapping that title, so I'm not really sure. I think at one point when I was working there, he was. So, not like it really matters too much. I mean, these rich men don't necessarily. Uh, I don't want to say that they don't pay the wages to their employees properly, but that's a personal opinion, you know. Um, I've been seeing a lot of things about Amazon lately that have been terrifying, and I'm kind of glad that that's one of those companies that I was sort of saving in the back pocket just in case I didn't find anything. And God, what was I starting to get really desperate? um, the only companies like, or the only Amazon related companies I would have worked for, and maybe the delivery jobs, maybe. But I've seen a lot of horror stories, especially recently, about the factory life, like the packaging, like shipping centers and whatnot. Yeah, it's bad. Um, Somebody apparently got uh, fired for trying to start a union, and yeah, like they took a bunch of people with them. So yeah, that happened. But hey, whatever. Um, but yeah, I aside from that and the thing I started with, um, I'm happy to bring somewhat positive news because yeah, um, things have been a little tough lately. Uh, we've been getting through it. You know, the upside is at the end of the day, me and Lily have each other to be able to, you know, uh, help each other emotionally and try to, when one of us starts getting worked up, the other one will start to help take the other down just a little bit. Not, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad way to put it. We help each other very well. Um, it's actually kind of surprising. I've had very few people in my life who've, you know, been able to talk me out of some of my intense panic attacks, and she was telling me essentially the same thing. Whenever she would start having a panic attack with her previous partner, she it would usually basically end up like scaling up into a fight, and that's not good. So I'm glad that me and her able to calmly talk things out and uh, get to a point where things are you know calm. um, it does make me happy. I'm honestly blessed to have her. Like she makes me happy. um, like I said, I'm happy to be bringing good news. These past like 3 days before Monday, so Friday through Sunday, me and Lily basically spare for Saturday spent pretty much the entire day together. I say spare for Saturday because she had to work Saturday, but not for long, like 6 hours, 8 hours. I don't remember how long, but yeah, she got home and we hung out for a little bit extra. Um, we watched a lot of Psych and Fairy Tale, just a lot of Psych and Fairy Tale, and it's making me happy, because Psych is one of my favorite shows and Fairy Tale is one of hers, and it makes me laugh to just kind of like sit there and just like crack jokes about either of our favorite shows, and we're just sitting there just laughing about stupid shit all the time. It makes me smile. Um, she's laughing about it all the time as well. Like she'll make jokes like about Fairy Tale, we'll make jokes about Psych or vice versa, and it's it's a lot of fun. um, but yeah, I was gonna say back to the whole job thing. If I do end up going to work here in the next 2 weeks, give or take, uh, then yeah, that means that my plans are finally going to be set in motion, and you know, it won't be long until I get her free, and then eventually myself, because she doesn't deserve to work the rest of her life. Nobody does. I don't think anybody does. Uh, honestly, anybody out there that happens to watch this for any reason, you don't deserve to work until you die. Like I said, nobody does. Uh, it's a stupid, like, it's a stupid thing from a stupid time in our history. Like, most people nowadays, unfortunately, that's how they feel like. And right now, she's trying to convince herself that that's what's going to happen. She still believes that I'm, you know, going to be building the business, but because I haven't, had a job for a while, she's been a little more depressed lately, which it sucks that, she's kind of losing hope more in herself. Like she's lost a lot of hope in uh, ever leaving SpaceX, really. But on the other side, she's learning to love her job a lot more. She really does like what she does, which makes me happy because there was a point where I used to enjoy, my job as well. There are still little things here and there that I would love to go back and do. Like there's a part that I was really amazing at that I would love to go back and do, but it was mostly the management and whatnot that made it an issue. Um, like, management has since changed again, so I don't know what the case would be with that. But yeah, since I've been there, it was great when I started, and then it kind of started to go downhill as some of the better managers and whatnot started to leave and were replaced by people who had either very little experience or a lot of experience, but in managing a completely different kind of company or a different kind of uh, business. So yeah, it was difficult. But I'm happy that she's doing a little better in that regard. Like, she's happier about her job and happier that she's learning a lot more. She's actually about to get promoted here sometime soon, which I'm proud of her for. I'm really proud of her. Like, she's gonna be pretty much up at a tech level that is very difficult to achieve, especially now considering they raised the standards. Um, but yeah, she's gonna be at a really high like tech level, and she deserves it. Honestly, there are points where I hear that she's been basically running her area, and she's not a manager. She's just a tech, and yeah, she's not a lead. She's nothing like that. She has really no authority to spare for what she knows and the fact that she's a safety representative. So, yeah, and she does both of those amazing. Like, yeah, like she points out safety things here too, which it's not often, but it does make me laugh. I'm just like, well, leave it at work. I understand that there are certain things around here that are like, we can change, and we do. I'm not saying that we don't fix it, but yeah, it just makes me laugh whenever she does like point things like that out. Um, but yeah, I'm a little happier today because even though I'm not necessarily looking forward to, uh, it's not that I'm not looking forward to the job itself. I'm not looking forward to the drive. Because I have to get on the highway, and just driving out there yesterday uh, made me really nervous. I kept getting trauma flashes of me totaling my car. Every time somebody would slam on their fucking brakes on the highway or like stop dead. So yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be taking like Uber or public transit or whatever to get to work. If I take Uber, it's going to be expensive as hell, but you know, what options do I really have, right? Um, that being said, uh, I suppose, yeah, that's it, honestly. That's pretty much everything that's happened up to this point. um, I'm still going to consider it a success, I'm going to. I'm gonna count on it as a guaranteed job for my emotional sake, but for actual job sake, I'm still gonna keep looking. Um, Today, I'm gonna be, you know, looking through a couple of other options. I learned something a little while back that most application or most job, I guess, yeah, applications, whatever. We'll have standards, like minimum standards that are like, 10 years with this program that's only been around for fucking 5 years or whatever, like, like really ridiculous standards. A lot of those jobs are just using that to kind of dissuade people who think that they wouldn't be able to hack it. Because I've been putting in applications to insane jobs as of late. Like, I started off pretty reasonable. You know, I stayed relatively in my field of expertise. I kind of branched out to things that, you know, my field might relate to, and then I started going to a little more insane things, like things that were just like unrelated entirely, like, you know, restaurant jobs and stuff like that. And then I started kind of going out to, okay, you know, like nursing assistants or, you know, accounting and stuff like that. Um, and like, you know, tech development, stuff like that. I have no experience in any of that, and a lot of it was like, oh, you need 17 years in this, or you need a bachelor degree from this as a minimum requirement, or whatever. Or like one of them was like, oh, you need a doctorate doing this specific thing that I've never heard of. Um, but yeah, um, I found out that a lot of that is bullshit. They usually use it to just dissuade people. And personally, there was a point where I think I'd been rejected by so many jobs, it was actually starting to hurt to see those kinds of things, because I was like, well, if they keep putting these fucking insane standards on their applications, then why the hell, how the hell do they plan to get anybody, like, at all, right? But I guess to a certain extent it makes some sense. I don't like that it does, but, you know, it's whatever. Uh, it's hot as hell in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it, so I can take off this jacket. But yeah, if you like this for whatever reason, my insane ramblings of my life, I guess, you know, like the video, subscribe if you want. I don't really care if you do or not. And yeah, I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Peace.